We're going to be doing navigating the Capel resources on our website. And so my name is Sarah Carter. I am the in-home and parent trainer here. This is my third year with Capel. Some of you know me and meet with me on a more individual basis, but we're so glad you're here in our group setting as well.
I'm Misty Lynch. I'm the transition specialist, and this is my third year in Capel. And we'll go ahead and get started. You do not know what you don't know. So we're going to start exploring together. We're going to cover a lot of information today, but you'll always have this, and we'll have our presentation and the video to accompany it on our website, and then you'll get that emailed as well. So how to kind of get to our resources. So first, you'll go to departments. You'll go to our Capel website, go to departments, go to special education, and then you're going to click special education here again with the little heart. So we're going to walk through it so you see exactly how to do it. So first, here's the website. You'll hit departments. Then you'll hit special education. And then you'll see that little special education heart, and you're going to hit that right there. And that's going to kind of get us started, that we're going to kind of click through today. We're not going to go in great detail, but we're just going to kind of give you an overview so you kind of know what to expect. So first, I'm going to kind of lead you through Child Find. And just so you can kind of see how everything operates on the website, you can always hit expand all, and it's going to kind of give you all the information that you might need. And this is just making sure that we're finding students that may have a possible disability and just letting the school district know. And anyone can do that. So just wanted to make sure that y'all are aware that we have that feature. And then this continuum of services, this kind of explains all the different programs that we have and where they're all housed. So if one of your learners, one of your students falls in one of these areas, you can just hit expand and it'll tell you where they are and then kind of give a short description as well. Early childhood special education. This used to be called PPCD, but about, I think, 2 to 3 years ago, the name changed. And so this kind of gives some descriptions on what early childhood intervention is. It also gives information on what walk-in speech is, integrated, and then a continuum of services. And again, you can always just expand so you can kind of see what those services are. And then this is our process for evaluation and eligibility. And these are all of our eligibilities that we have within the school district. And then if you see this little bitty asterisk, it says these have special considerations that may begin at birth. And it does the exact same thing. You can just expand and it's going to give you the definition so that you have access to all of that. Sarah is going to kind of go through the next little parts. So I'm going to mute myself just a second and let her start.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. So next on the website, we have extended school year, or ESY. Now these dates are from last year, but this is what the page would look like as we get further into the year. And the district decides what the dates will be offered, then this information will be updated. And if you have any ESY questions, your contact would be Dr. Julie Harrison, and we have her email there linked for you on the side. Next, identifying children with disabilities. As Misty mentioned earlier, we have the expanding accordion with different paths for identification. So there are ways within the district, students that are homeschooled or schooled in a private school, students that transfer into our district, a little bit about the ARD, or Admission Review and Dismissal Committee, and then of course, confidentiality. And then next, the legal framework. A few important things to mention on this. So if you'll look on the right-hand side where it says notice of procedural safeguards, this is something that you are given at your child's ARD meeting every year. But if for whatever reason you needed to look at it again, we do have that linked here. And then we also have Parents Guide to the ARD process. So this is just a general guide that TEA puts out, just some additional resources for you about ARD meetings. And then we are going to this next one that says parent resources. We're going to come back to that because this has a lot of really specific tailored resources to you guys. And so we're going to go with the rest and then we're going to touch back on that later. So just put a pause on that one. And I'm going to let Misty talk about transition.
All right, I hope y'all can hear me okay. So I'm a transition specialist, so I love everything transition. This is when they just updated this website last year, Texas Transition. And if you see the little baby eye to the graduation, it's like right when you enter school from 3 years old all the way to you graduate. So they did this last year. And then here's our resources. So I just want to let you know that they do have something special for parents. Our educators have access to this website as well, but I wanted just to click on the parent portion. So when we do our transition meetings, we're really talking about all of these things. Self-determination is in their transition supplement, education training, employment, and independent living. And then obviously we're focusing on graduation as well. This is just one of my favorite resources that I wanted to share with you. Things about like planning for the future, what happens after 18 years old, what are some of those accommodations, modifications in college, just a really great resource that I wanted to share with everyone. And let me go back. Oh, let's see. There we go. And then this is the Texas Transition Employment Guide. So usually when you are at the high school level, you will get this. They are updating this. I think this is for 2018. They also have a Spanish version. They'll be changing to that little I to the big graduation. So I just wanted to let you know that this is current July 2018, but they will be updating it this year. And then this is just transfer from another district. If y'all are already here, you're good. But if this is the process, if you needed to transfer. And then this is has all of my information on it. So what transition services are. And then this is my contact information. And then I've just kind of linked some of those other links that we've gone over. And then some of the things, just like Sarah mentioned, we have the accordion feature. There's lots of stuff for career and employment. I'm not going to go through all of them. It's a lot of information, but things that I would really think to look at around 14 years old, seeing job shadowing, volunteer opportunities that you could take into, also disclosing a disability, whether to disclose to an employer. I think that's really helpful. And then also if you're just looking for like what jobs your kids want to have when they grow up, they do have some career one-stop places. They have some quizzes. So just wanted to make sure that you know that's there. And then college, lots of information on here. If your child happens to be in a program, Think College is somewhere that I really recommend people looking if you're looking for post-secondary education. And then Fair Test, if your child is maybe not the best test taker, there's a list of colleges that don't require SAT or ACT scores. Dallas Promise program, it's really great just because they can help pay if you live in Dallas County, and y'all do. So that's something to explore as well. And then a lot of people do have questions about guardianship and supported decision-making. I've left some links here, some examples. And then Medicaid interest lists. We'll kind of go over that in a little bit. But I would say if you need any help getting on those lists, please just contact me directly. And then I do want to talk a little bit about Texas Workforce Commission contacts. So if your child is 14 and up, they are eligible for this. We have a new TVRC, which just is a transitional vocational rehabilitation counselor. And here's his information. And then there's lots of information. I have little asterisks for the referral forms and release of confidential information. And if you're interested in having your student be part of Texas Workforce and then getting services, please let me know. see. I'm trying to get back to it. There we go. And then if y'all have any questions, about any of this stuff, I update it regularly, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I'm going to go back here, and we're going to go to our, let me see. I want to make sure. So we've done that. We've clicked over there. Now we are to the parent resources page. Oh. All right.
My turn now.
Yes, let me mute myself.
Okay. All right, Sarah speaking again. So the parent resources page, Misty and I have worked to make this kind of like a first stop for you guys if you have questions about specific things. And we want it to be really user-friendly and helpful for you guys. We do house, which we'll get to, we house a lot of things on here, and we refer back to this as well a lot when we're looking for things or working with families. So we wanted to get you kind of more familiar with this kind of subpage of the resources. So first we would have common acronyms. A few acronyms have already come up as we've been chatting, like for example, the ARD, A-R-D. If you'll look, it says Admission Review and Dismissal Committee. IEP is also a common one. So this just has a lot of common acronyms that are used, and sometimes in education, you'll hear a lot of them, and always in the moment, remind us if you're not sure what something means, but this is just something too to familiarize yourself with if you were maybe having a conversation, wanted to check back. Next, we have glossary of terms. And this is from similar again, there's different terms or words, terminology that are used, and this is just a glossary or definition if you were wanting to know more about accommodations as you see on the screen. This kind of defines them for you. So another good reference point. All right, group parent training. So obviously we're very passionate about this because that's what this is currently. So all of our group parent training meetings that we have had in the past are housed here on this landing page. So some of the topics we've done before, like behavior, increasing engagement during virtual learning. We've done potty training. We did do a Navigating the Capel website resource meeting last year, but things have been updated since then. So that's why we wanted to do it again. And also some helpful training on AAC device. Misty, would you mind? So on each of these, you can see that there's a video, but then like, let's look at tips for anxiety. So first we have a link to the presentation. So like the slideshow, this was when we did September 1st of this year. Our support counselors hosted this. So if you didn't get a chance to attend, we have the presentation and the video linked for you. So I just wanted to note that when you see the text, that's going to be a link to the slideshow presentation. And then if you'll go back for me, Misty, thank you. Right underneath where it says tips for anxiety, we also have the link to the video. And so when you click on that, it should pop out. And we have all these videos already preloaded, so it shouldn't have to download or do anything. We have already like uploaded and it did all that kind of prep work before we post it. Yep, and so there's the video of the training from the one that we did September 1st. So those are always there for your reference if you wanted to go back to something, or maybe you remember, but you just want to look at the slideshow to refresh your memory. You're welcome to print those, to view those, to review those. We also do share these with teachers too, sometimes when there's things that we cover that might be helpful for educators or other related services in the classroom. So this is a great reference point that we come back to often. And then we're on how to request a special education evaluation. So this is kind of our Capel process for how you would go about requesting an evaluation. And it kind of outlines the steps there for you. Is there anything you want to add to that? Mm-hmm. No? Okay, that one's pretty self-explanatory. So now I'm going to go ahead and let Misty talk about the next portion. So I'm going to mute myself.
Alrighty, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Medicaid waiver list. So this can sometimes be a little bit confusing. A family does not have to be on Medicaid for their child to be on a Medicaid waiver interest list. The interest lists are typically very, very long, like 13 to 15 years. Some of them are a little bit shorter. MDCP is maybe like 2.5 years. So I work with families individually. We have meetings, either Zoom or in person and on the phone, and I kind of walk them through the steps of how to get on the list. I will say for home and community-based services in Texas Home Living, you will need to have a current updated full individual evaluation, which is an FIE, and I can help you request that from our records clerk. And then this is a phone call. And I would say you're maybe on hold for maybe like 10 minutes. And then as long as you have your child's social security number and the rest of this information, you can get on a list and they'll give you an ID number. And then this very last Medicaid waiver, this is going to be if your child may be at risk of being not in the home due to behaviors. And so I can help you with that as well. And then I just have some different parent videos just saying the importance of getting on those lists. And at the bottom, it'll kind of give you a little description if your child would be eligible for those. All right, next is parent organizations. All righty, so we just included a list of all the parent organizations that are like national. So it's listed for you. We do have though ConnectEd meetings that it's perfect timing that you asked that, because we're going to kind of go into that in a little bit. It's not a special education parent organization, but it's a way for parents to connect just in Coppell ISD. So I'll kind of go to that since you asked that question. So here we haven't had our dates yet, and our special ed director, Stephanie Flores, she helps run those, and it's just a connecting point for families. So that we will have, and it's not exactly though a PTO. So great question. And then this is our Bulb newsletter. I'm hoping that everybody is getting those. So if you just click here, it goes to our newsletters. It may look different because I'm probably signed in, but if not, all of our Bulb newsletters are housed here from this year and last year. It's thinking, so I'm going to come back to it in a second. And then these are our parent resources meetings. So thank y'all for being at our September 15th one. And then we also have them listed for the remainder of the school year, and you can sign up for them whenever. And we really have been trying to make sure that we are getting people not only from our district, but outside of our district through Region 10. So you will see a lot of Region 10 people on our list. And then I'm going to go back to our parent resource meeting. Now you may see a little bit more because this is my screen, but we have our pages. And if you ever want to come back, we already have our August, September one posted, and then you can see some of our designs, but we'll start posting October 2021 on the 1st. So just want to make sure that y'all know about those. And if you aren't receiving them, let me know. They go out through communications and then also through your child's classroom teacher. And then I'm going to bring it back over to Sarah.
All right. So next on our resources, we have Parents Guide to the ARD process. So similar when we linked earlier on the legal framework page, this is just another place that a Parents Guide to the ARD process is housed. And we do have that in English and in Spanish. And again, our procedural safeguards are linked there as well. Next would be our pre-K engagement plan. So this is from our early childhood program, and this is just information for parents if you do have a child that is in pre-K and some of the strategies and procedures for that. And then procedural safeguards. Again, we just want to make sure that those are easily accessible to you and readily available, but that's going to link back to the legal framework, and that is where they are housed from TEA. And then Special Olympics. So Capella has a really great Special Olympics program, and that is run or kind of spearheaded by Angela Campbell, who does a really great job. So there's different sports opportunities, and those are offered, you can see all different months throughout the year. So bowling, September and October, basketball, soccer, track and field. So there's lots of different opportunities for your child to participate. And there is, my understanding, an age eligibility. Yeah, they're able to train at ages 6 through 7, but once they're 8, they're allowed to officially compete. So we would encourage, especially if they're interested, but they're not able to compete, that they could come to the practices and train, just to kind of get familiar with the team and the coaches and the processes. And this just talks a little bit about transportation, equipment, uniforms, volunteers. And if there's any questions about anything on here, Angela Campbell would be your contact for that. Missy, do you want to click on the webs, like their website? I think if you go down a little.
This one or the public one?
Which one is our Capel one? Is that linked on here?
I think it's right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
All good. So this is our Capel Special Olympics website, which has more detailed information, I'm sure, about dates. There's a button over to the side where you can register. If you are registered, you're able to log in. All sorts of information here readily available to you. And again, if you have any questions, Angela Campbell would be your person to direct those towards. But Special Olympics is a really great opportunity for some social skills and to build friends within the community. And it's the whole district, so it may not just be kids that are in their class. And again, kind of to your point earlier, another great way for parents to meet other parents in the community as well. So now we're going to go back to the parent resource guide. And I will hand it over to Misty to start.
So I will start by saying this is a lot of information and we're not going to go through all of it, but I want you to know where it is. Some of the information we kind of have gone over already. A lot of the stuff with transition, I put it on that portion as well. So that career employment, college, post-secondary, we've kind of reviewed. I will say guardianship and supported decision-making is on there as well. I just wanted to kind of make sure that y'all knew that it was here. I'm just going to expand it just so you can see all of the resources. So there's a lot. That's why I liked the little accordion feature, so it's not too overwhelming. But I also wanted just to kind of say some of the things that I really use a lot. You can tell because they're all purple. But the Career Center for Parent Information and Resources is wonderful. The Partners Resource Network, the one thing that I really like about them is every single person that is employed there has a child with a disability. So when you are calling, you are talking to someone that is walking in your shoes or, you know, is continuing to walk in your shoes and may have students that or children that are, you know, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And so Sarah and I always say, we may not know exactly what you're going through, but we want to connect you to people that have been and can really relate. So Partners Resource Network is something I really recommend. And Jim Wright is our contact for Region 10. If you're ever thinking about guardianship and supported decision-making, I would look in that to about 17 and a half years old. It's a process. And then I have lots of resources for you. And then thinking about housing, if any of your children might need at some point, group homes. These are some really great resources as well. And then I'm going to let Sarah kind of cover the rest.
Perfect. So something to touch on, I'll just touch a little bit on the local resources, which I know we've kind of discussed or touched on this also. This is going to be an important tab because these are local resources available in where you are now or close to. They would service Capel, different than resources that are available statewide because these are going to be available right here. So again, the PACT project is on there. Partners Resource Network, Region 10, which like, again, we get a lot of our resources and connections from there as well. Did you want to click on the Brown Bag app?
Yes, I like that one.
Thank you. So the Brown Bag app through Region 10 is a really great resource. It's an application that you can download on your phone. It is free and it is an interagency directory. So this is where if you were looking for a service or an agency, this has a directory of all of the ones that are available near you in our region. And so this is just a great thing to look through. Sometimes, again, you don't know that something's out there or available to you, but this kind of just gives you exposure to what is. And again, this app is free. You can download it on your phone. Okay, and then we have some different resources for mental health, post-secondary options. So after your child would be done with K through 12. Respite care, if you're unfamiliar with that, is relief or help that would come into the home. And this would typically be maybe after school, or it could be on the weekends, or if there's an event that maybe siblings need to go to, but maybe you need some help with that. So this kind of details what respite care is, how to find a provider, how to connect with special needs caregivers, and then we listed a few different respite care providers that we other families have worked with. We can't endorse or say that one is better than the other, but we just want to give you some different options so that you can explore that on your own. Another thing I'd like to touch on would be the state ID and driver's license. Maybe your child in a few years would need to see how to get their driver's license. We have links for like the application, a position statement for maybe if your child wasn't going to get a driver's license but needed a state ID. Here's kind of where you would start with that process. And then as well as local resources, we do have state resources that are available in Texas. So those are there. Texas Workforce Commission, Misty kind of talked about earlier. If your child is 14 or older, you would want to get connected with them. Some transportation resources and resources to help with visual impairments. I'm going to give it back to Misty.
So we have gone through a lot of this information, and I have one more little thing just to share with you. We have been updating our department directory, and I'm going to say, just because I heard Richard J. Lee, so I'm going to see if I can just type in Lee Elementary, and if I hit search, these are going to be all of the service providers, instructional or related, that would serve your student's campus. So we thought this might be just a nice feature for everyone, so they kind of know who's at your child's campus. Also, if you wanted to look for a person, you can just type in their name. I'm going to type in Sarah's name, and then you can see her. You click on, this is a little cheat, not everybody knows. If you click on them, their phone number pops up. If you don't click on them, their phone number does not pop up. So just wanted to make sure that y'all knew about that feature as well.
Do you want to show them how they would get to that just from the website?
Oh yes, let me show you how to do that. Let me go back for a second. Let's see. Let me escape for just a minute. So if I'm on the website, so you have all of this, and then you'll just hit district special education staff. And then that will be where we all are housed. And there's a lot of us. I think there's 3 pages of us, yes. So sometimes if you're like, oh, we were in a meeting with someone, but I just can't remember their name, just type in your child's campus and it'll show everyone that would be at that meeting. And we just wanted to say thank you. I know that's been a lot of information for everyone, but here is our contact information if you need to reach us. We're happy to answer any questions. If your child is in a program, I will always reach out to see if you want to have a transition meeting each year. If your child's at CHS 9, New Tech, or CHS, I will send out an email that goes along with your annual ARD meeting to see if you want to touch base about transition as well. And then I just always make sure that I give credit to whoever we